Chuck E. Cheese.
Here comes Chuck E. Cheese.
Martial arts expert of reptile land.
I watched the Streamer Awards live when it happened, and the award show was absolutely scuffed. There was so much technical issues. They kept cutting to a camera shot of the wrong person, and that happened many times. And then also fans' jokes on the floor were quite disastrous. So many of them didn't land, especially the Diddy joke, I think definitely crossed the line. And I'm somebody who does not believe that many jokes ever cross the line. Rarely ever. Like maybe I've heard a handful in my entire life. And I've watched many stand-up comedy shows. Now, first of all, I want to say some positive things about this award show before we get into the negative. Firstly is Fan is not a host. She's not a comedian. So it's not really her strong suit, and she didn't do that good of a job, but she didn't do like the worst job imaginable. She's could be the right person for it, but I feel like maybe all of the good jokes went to QT Cinderella, because when QT was joking around early on, most of her jokes landed, and some were actually kind of funny, right? But again, these people aren't really comedians, so maybe they should hire comedians to do this in the future. And I really liked specifically what QT Cinderella and Kai Cenat both said later on in the award show about how communities can be brought together and this can be a good thing. And there's been a lot of negative reactions to this award show beyond it just being having all these major technical issues. There's just simply communities colliding, right? Like the Kai Cenat community, which is known as the W community. It's, goes way beyond Kai Cenat and Justice.org, AMP, and all these other communities like the FaZe community, the OTK community. There's all these different streaming communities, and this was sort of the first Streamer Awards where a lot of those communities really merged or collided with each other. And any time in history where you have communities who all of a sudden are like amongst each other, there's always going to be issues. So I think overall the outcome of the Streamer Awards can be a very positive thing where communities learn and grow together and separately. So I think it's just simple growing pains. I actually kind of saw this coming, the amount of drama and reaction from this. Now I think the viewers' reactions is a little absurd. I think that you need to go all out, right? Like I think QT needs to change it to being 100% viewer vote. Like this thing where the nominations are 70% fan vote and then 30% council. I don't think that makes any sense. I think it should be 100% fan vote through and through. Even if you want to exclude people because they're not brand friendly, mainly Asmongold and Hassan aren't brand friendly, so they can't be nominated. That's fine, right? Like they've both won Streamer Awards in the past. I don't think they particularly care, right? Like they're still involved anyway. Hassan was literally there. Asmongold live streamed the whole thing. He co-streamed, or I don't know if he actually co-streamed or just simply reacted to it, but he literally streamed the entire event and then continues to talk about the event afterwards. So it's not them not being nominated. I don't think they personally care, and it really doesn't affect anything, because it just takes away some of the legitimacy if certain people aren't nominated because this council decides they can't be nominated. So just do that. And then I do think somebody else should put on an award show that's more like council based, kind of like the Oscars, right? Like you have award shows and all sorts these different avenues of entertainment where some of them are fan voted and some of them aren't. It's just this group of people decides, right? That's fine. I think that would sort of ease some of the tension. But again, it's just an award show. At the end of the day, it doesn't even mean anything. So I'll kind of get into more of the drama side of this. So the reason that I have Kai Cenat and Diddy on the screen is because Fan made the joke that, oh, hey Kai, I saw your documentary with 50 Cent. That was you, right? Implying that he himself, in fact, is Diddy. Diddy and Kai Cenat are the same person. That's the joke that FanFan was trying to tell, which she probably felt wasn't that severe. And I feel like she got a lot of backlash, which wasn't really deserved, because that's what she was thinking she was saying. Ultimately, that's not what she was saying. And it's important to go over why that's not what she was saying, and how that you're kind of saying something else without realizing it. Now, again, she's not a comedian. These were not well-written jokes at all. She unfortunately did a bad job, but this isn't like what she does. They should probably get somebody where it's what they do, or have somebody write her jokes where that's what they do. Now, her other jokes not landing, they were just bad jokes. This one in particular, though, is kind of sinister, and it's had such a negative reaction for very important reasons. And that is what the joke is kind of actually saying without the joke trying to say it. So Kai Cenat was born in New York City, I think in like 2001. He's very young, right? Or somewhere around there. Forget how old he exactly is. I can look it up. I have Google up right now. But in the early 2000s, Diddy was at his prime, committing crimes, a lot of which involved hooking up with women in not exactly consensual ways. Now, Kai Cenat is the spitting image of Diddy. They look nearly identical from certain angles. Diddy lives in New York. He has primarily his entire life lived in New York, where Kai Cenat was born and probably conceived. So you telling the joke, this Diddy joke, to Kai Cenat is kind of saying something that could actually be true. You're kind of implying that he could be Diddy's son, which he could be. He legitimately could be. Meaning that Diddy could have conceived Kai Cenat through illegitimate means. Meaning that Kai Cenat's mother could have been a victim of Diddy. This is a real possibility. This is something that could have happened. Actually. So what seems like a harmless joke towards Kai Cenat, you're actually potentially making a joke about something that very actually could have happened to Kai Cenat's mother. So that's why there's a big reaction. That's why Buddy called it out. Because it's genuinely a very twisted and messed up joke to make. He could be Diddy's son. He could be. That's not something you just joke about. Someone's mom being like non-consensually. That's crazy. That's a crazy joke to make. Now, Kai Cenat has joked about that. Like, him and his friends have made jokes about that. Like, Kevin Hart has made that joke to him. But those are people who are Kai Cenat's friends. And even then, Kai Cenat takes those jokes on the chin. But even when he's doing that, it seems like it kind of rubs him the wrong way. It's still a bit too far, even for his close personal friends. It's a bit too far. So FanFan, who isn't Kai Cenat's friend, who is basically a stranger to Kai Cenat, that is way too far. That's why Kai Cenat's friends got pissed off by it. Very rightfully so, right? Like, and one of them maybe got overly pissed off. But it's important to understand why. FanFan didn't have ill intent. Obviously, she wasn't trying to say that, like, Kai Cenat might be Diddy's son. But what she's saying is saying that. That's what it's saying. Whether she realizes it or not. And this joke also, beyond just being deceptively sinister, despite the intent of the joke, you have to also think about the context. This is the biggest turnout of the W community, which if you don't, I'll just say it. The W community is primarily black people. So really the black community showed up and was probably invited more to this award show than they ever have been in the past. You have these, literally the top streamers of not only that community, but like the live streaming landscape overall. Kai Cenat, Speed, and so many other streamers were there who were black, who weren't there in previous years. So it's really them and their community entering this event as sort of the outsiders. So for them to get kind of jabbed at, it probably didn't make them feel very good. As much as that community jokes around with each other, they're entering a slightly unwelcoming environment by even going to this award show and participating in it. So That's the context that's just, I feel like people completely miss, and it's very important. Just ease it on the Diddy jokes, man, because the guy's family might be a victim of the man. And outside of that, many people are a victim of Diddy. It's not the most jokey material, especially as there are people right now who haven't come out. People who are victims of Diddy, where they're afraid currently to come out. I feel like you kind of make it even harder for those people to come out and press charges against this man when you just make it a jokey, non-serious thing where you're mocking potential victims. Too far, man. And that, like I said, people can grow and learn, and I feel like that's what will happen. And it's just an unfortunate series of things happen with this award show. That's what happens with the award show. Asmongold said it best. I've done events where things mess up, where there's production problems, and he has. OTK has put on events where it is just a total crapshoot because it's production issues and technological issues. Those happen. It's genuinely, I think it'll be okay. I think the award show will be back next year, and these communities things will have calmed down. And I think this was actually a catalyst for that, and overall a positive thing, the Streamer Awards in 2025. This is Kai Cenat's dad. They're basically identical in height. Their eyes are almost identical. They have tons of resemblance. And his dad himself kind of looks like Diddy as well. So this is definitely Kai Cenat's dad, but it's not impossible that Diddy couldn't be Kai Cenat's dad. So I think joking about it, insane coincidence itself, you can joke about, but it's all about the context. It's remarkable that Kai and Diddy look so much alike, and they're both entertainers in kind of a similar way where they have their own content, but there's such a heavy focus on production and elevating other people. So that it's just a remarkable coincidence. And I'm not saying people can't joke about it, but it's different when it's at an award show to Kai Cenat's face, and the man himself is up for 4 awards. He won 4 awards at the award show. So, in many ways, a portion of the award show is in celebration of Kai Cenat. It's just a lack of being genuinely funny that you have to resort to roasting people. And definitely don't roast them about something that could be incredibly sinister. Just give it a little bit more thought and a little bit more time in the writing room. Come on.